Hello the internet. Today we're going to be going through the cost of doing a track day and what costs you need to keep in mind when taking your car on a track day. So I just went on a track day with the Porsche Boxster here at Donington Park. It was wet, slippery and honestly fantastic fun. If you're thinking about doing a track day, definitely go for it. Just keep in mind the costs that we're going to go through in this video. So of course the cost of a track day varies significantly depending on what car you have. So I'm going to be taking you through three different scenarios. A cheap car like a Renault Cilo 182, like £2,000 car. Scenario 2 will be a Boxster like this one here, so about £30,000 car. And finally a GT3 RS, £150,000 car as the final scenario. So let's jump straight into it. The first cost, that is the cost of the track day itself. And that's actually quite reasonable, £100 to £400 depending on the track day. It's like £100 if you go to Cadwell Park in the middle of February. If you're going to Silverstone International in the middle of summer, it's going to cost you about £400, and that's the same no matter what car you have. Second cost is the consumables. So consumables, we have first of all tyres. They say a set of tyres will last you about 4 track days. That's depending on weather and how heavy your car is, but 4 is a good rule of thumb here. And a set of tyres on something like a Clio is going to cost you about £400. So divide that by 4, £100 per day on tyres. Second of all, we have the Boxster. So a set of tyres on this, about £1,000. So divide that by 4, £250. And finally a GT3 RS, it's about £1,300 for a set of tyres. So that's like £325 per day. Second consumable we have is like brakes. They say that brakes will last 10 track days. Now I think that's optimistic. On my track day I used up quite a bit of my pads. They were already fairly low, but now they're very low indeed. I'm going to have to replace those soon. A set of pads on a Renault Clio will set you back like £150, so £15 per day. A set of pads on the Boxster here will cost you about £500 including fitting, so about £50 a day. And on a GT3 RS with ceramic brakes, you're talking about £1,800 for a set of brake pads fitted, so £180 a day. And the final consumable, which people don't think about, is fuel. Cars use a lot of fuel when they're on track. So this Boxster here, I did about 60 laps, which is about 150 miles. And in total I put £110 of fuel in. That includes the drive from my house to the track as well. But on track, averaged 10 miles to the gallon. So if you see a Renault Clio, maybe if you're going to do that number of laps, it's going to cost you 80 quid in fuel. This car, 110 quid in fuel, and a GT3 RS, probably about 130 quid in fuel. So that rounds up our consumables. Now we're going to go on to the final cost, insurance. Often overlooked by people who want to go on a track day, but you really need to consider it. It can be quite expensive, and if somebody crashes into you when you're on a track day, they don't pay for the repairs of your car, you pay for the repairs. So if you're a super confident driver, you know you're not going to crash. Yeah, that could be true. But if somebody crashes into you, you're responsible to pay for your repairs. And for me personally, I don't want to risk £30,000 on a track day, so I purchased insurance. Now insurance is pretty expensive, so like the general rule of thumb is 1% of the value of the car per day. So if you remember TGE, he took his Carrera GT on track, limited to 70 miles an hour. a lot of that would have been down to insurance premiums, keeping the cost down there. If he was going to go flat out on track, it would be like £6,500 insurance a day. So let's get into it, right? Renault Cilo insurance is going to be almost zero. Well, you're going to be zero. You're not going to insure a £2,000 car. For the Boxster here, I paid £250 for the day for insurance, and that had a £2,000 excess. And if you're going to have a GT3 RS, that's going to cost you £1,500 for a day, with quite a sizable excess. So there we go, there are the costs. So if we just summarise the cheap car, the track day £150, the consumables £195, which is £100 tyres, £15 brake pads, £80 fuel, and then zero insurance. So that's £345 for the day out in something like a Clio 182. Now in the Boxster here, track day again £150, consumables £410, so that was like £250 on tyres, it was £50 on brakes, £110 on fuel, and then finally insurance £250, so it's £810 for the day out on a track in the Boxster. Now finally the GT3 RS, so again track day £150, consumables £645 this time, which was £325 on tyres, £180 on brakes, £140 on fuel, and then finally insurance about £1,200, taking the total to £1,945 for the day out. So as you can see, taking a car on track is a very expensive proposition. So please keep that in mind when you're buying a car to take it on track. I recommend buying something cheap and light. It's a lot of fun, and if you do have loads of money, then sure, go for the GT3 RS. If you like this video and want to see more of this type of content, please give me a like, subscribe, and comment